and welcome to Lifestyle Tuesday. This is the 27th of May 2025. We are in the last Tuesday of the month. Thank you so much for always being with us from the first day, the first Tuesday of this month till today. We are grateful. We are here to wrap it up together. Make sure that you tune in and you stick with us till the end. My name is Grace Haron, and let us know where you're watching us from in the comments. You can reach us on our WhatsApp number, that is 0799200100, or on our social media platforms. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Just drop a text and we'd love to hear what you have to say and where you are watching us from. So today we are here again to have an impactful discussion, and as I always remind you every Tuesday, are you still embracing your Christian lifestyle? That's why we are always here every Tuesday to challenge our faith, to have discussions that will help us embrace our Christian lifestyle. So today we are talking about leadership, but servant leadership, to be precise, because there are many types of leadership styles. We have autocratic, we have authoritative, there are other many types of leadership styles. But why servant leadership? Why does it matter? And how does it look like when an organization, not only in the church but also in the corporate world, where leaders are servant leaders? And so stick with us till the end, and I'm amazed and honored today to have an amazing guest with us who will help us understand more of this topic. So this topic is for all of us, not only if you're a leader, if you have a title or not. This conversation belongs to all of us, and that's why we have decided to have this topic, so that we can all of us understand what servant leadership is. And without further ado, help me welcome our guest, Pastor Paul Obong'o. He is the regional coordinator of Generation Impact Ministry Trust. And so without further ado, help me welcome him with us today. Good morning.
Good morning, Grace.
How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure.
Say hello to my viewers of the Lifestyle Tuesday.
Yes, hello viewers, and praise the Lord. I am glad you're watching us this morning. I'm very glad. As you've heard, my name is Paul Obong'o, and I'm born again. I love the Lord Jesus as my Savior and my Lord, and I'm very happy to be here this day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You want to debunk or unpack servant leadership.
Yes.
And I see in your profile, you've said you believe in discipleship as the pathway to servant leadership and revival.
Yes.
Maybe you can enlighten us onto that.
Yes. This is coming from the point of our Master Lord Jesus Christ, the path that he treaded when he left his heavenly glory above and came down here on earth to able to be an epitome or a symbol of what it means to be a servant leader. And therefore one thing that we see very clearly, that he called to himself those he wanted, and he stayed with them for 3.5 years. And what did he really pass on to them? Servanthood.
Wow.
And demonstrate that through discipleship, having impacted them with the truth of the gospel, and also longing for them to become like him, he ensured that they come out as servant leaders. Yes.
Wow. So if you're a servant leader, your people, the people you are leading, they might be servant leaders as well.
Yes, very, very true, because you cannot actually give what you don't have.
Oh, wow.
You can
I love
only
that.
produce after your own kind. Yes. And so Jesus produced actually after his own kind, and that's what he has left for us, that legacy, that truth, for us to also emulate in our time.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I see you have some very good content, and I know as we move on, our viewers will understand more about servant leadership. But before we get to that, I'll still ask the same question I asked when you were off camera about our country. You know, our country, how would it look like if we had all leaders, let's say all leaders, as servant leaders?
That would be a very great transformation. In fact, we'd be living like in heaven on earth. Yes. Because if you were to serve one another faithfully, and that means you'll be able to have enough resources for everyone, whereby I'm not going to gather everything for myself. I'll be selfless, and I will not look after my own needs, but I'll consider others better than myself. So servant leadership comes from the point of wanting to better someone else's life.
Yes. Wow, you want to better someone else's life.
Yes. Yeah. And that means also that you don't actually compare yourself with everyone. You just do that which you know God has put in you to do for his own glory, but for the impact of the community.
Wow.
And that is that means selflessness.
Yes.
Yes, it means sacrificial way of doing things, where I don't have in a position to do something. I just see what need to be done, and I rise up and do it, and call upon the people like Nehemiah.
Yeah.
He actually discerned what was needed back in Jerusalem.
True.
Because God had granted them to go back to their own land after the captivity, or after 70 years of captivity. And that means that Nehemiah, his heart was actually after the well-being of his people. I believe even when he was actually serving the king, his heart was in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And therefore, he got the opportunity to hear about what has happened there, and he was told the walls are broken down.
Yeah.
The gates have been burnt with fire, and people who are there are in great distress.
Yeah.
Like, for example, today in our country, we are in great distress.
Great distress.
Yeah, there are those who are going hungry today in this country. Yet we are so blessed in Africa, and in Kenya in particular, we have all the resources we need, and even the manpower. Yes. True. And how Kenyans sometimes make it by the grace of God, because we are happy people. We can go through thick and thin by God's grace. With all this going around us, we need to find Nehemiahs of our time.
Wow,
and let them rise up and see the need that is there, and seek all means to solve these problems and fix this country. It is possible.
It is possible.
Yes.
Wow, I love that. Leaders who are selfless, who can go beyond to make sure that the needs are met. Because when we look at our education sector, our health sector, people are really crying. And we are like, why are people crying? And we have the leaders who we are looking up to. But I asked you, whether they are, today we have leaders who are servant leaders in our government, and you said there are some. Yeah, there are some. I remember actually one of the people that I really look up to, and I've seen his way of leadership very, very effective, is our former bishop. Wow. Yes. Dr. David Oginde, who is now the current EACC chairperson, and even his predecessor also. Men who have served selflessly and by the grace of God have brought impact in this country. And so at some point, even during the Uhuru government, these people were able to advise the president. They were able to be there for the country. So we have people like Ezekiel Mutua who have also brought transformation. Especially I remember in the film industry, where he had to stop some of the shows, some of the programs on the TV that were not really auguring well with our young people today. And so we need people who can be able to see things are not going right and fix them. Wow, I love that. Yes, and fix them. And they may not be in the limelight a lot, but they are there. I think it's high time you should seek out for such. And pray that God bring them out and shut down the darkness in this country. Yeah, very true, because people are crying, and then, you know, that much crying makes us feel like we don't have servant leaders. But thank you for telling us that. No, you can. Thank you. Yes, actually there are many. We have actually seen in our country, though some of them are political appointees. Yes. They come during their political maybe period, and they do amazing work. For example, some of them, they may not be born again, maybe serious Christians per se, but you could see they are out to fix some of these problems. I remember a few years back, somebody like Matiang'i, who is now vying for presidency in the near future. In the education sector, we were used to a lot of exam irregularities. And when the guy came on board, he fixed a few things. We may not agree with everything and how they did whatever that time, but we can remember that they did something. And then therefore I would say that if our leaders, because we have leaders who are political, leaders who are religious, if this country we were to be able to work together for the benefit, for the mutual benefit of the country, then I believe both our political issues and religious issues can be fixed in this country. And therefore the call today is for us to give the opportunity to these good leaders, to tell us how they have made it. Yes, look for them wherever they are and bring them on board, and let us be able to see what have they accomplished before, and how also are they
thinking about the way forward for the current issues we have in the country.
Yes. Wow, thank you so much for that. I love that. That's an eye-opening perspective. That we should look for good leaders because they are there. Our viewers, they are good leaders who are selflessly going for the needs of the people. And now, at least that has opened our eyes of what servant leadership is, but we can unpack it more and understand what does it really mean, and does it work for all areas, not only in the government. Does it work also for the church, for the corporate world, in an organization where there is even toxicity and all that? What is servant leadership?
Servant leadership has to do with coming to the level of the people.
Wow.
Yes, and Apostle Paul will tell us that he became all things to all men, that he might win them to Christ.
True.
You cannot transform a people unless you live among them.
Wow.
You bring yourself to their shoes. Get to understand what are they going through, what are their needs, what are their challenges. And so I would call on us to consider becoming like Apostle Paul, like Jesus Christ, like Nehemiah, like Moses, like Daniel. Wherever you find yourself. I mean, Daniel was a person, together with his friends, the three of them, they were in a foreign land where no one was concerned about their well-being. In fact, they wanted to be changed, to become Babylonians. And these guys, because they knew the God of their fathers, they decided to stick to that path of faithfulness. And therefore, their integrity and their devotion to God brought about such a commitment to their faith and also the impact that the king could not contradict, because they knew the God of heaven, and also they were well equipped to do their work excellently. And so, servant leadership, you can apply that wherever you are, whether you're in the corporate, whether you are a husband or a wife.
Oh, you even if you are a husband.
Yes.
Wow, how does that look like?
Because Christ wants us to become like him. Yes. And becoming like Jesus means I don't become self-centered. I look for the needs of the others being fulfilled. Imagine of a family whereby the husband seek to meet the needs of the wife. Not because he must, but because he is willing. It has to begin from the point of willingness. Am I willing, ready, and available to accomplish that? And so servant leadership calls on us to actually come to the level of the people we are serving. Get to understand their needs. Don't be a person who want to hit and run, or maybe serve from afar, whereby you just reach out to people once in a while. That will not bring lasting transformation. And Matthew, Jesus said, we are supposed to produce fruit that will last. And so if I'm going to see my leadership, or and actually my impact last for many generations, then I have to be there. And that's why there was no any other way Jesus could have raised disciples unless by living with them. He called them to himself. True. In Mark 3 verse 13, he called them to be with him, that he might actually impact them and send them out later. So leaders, even though we are born with the ability to lead, we also need the training. So that we can be able to bring this out in a way that is contextual and also impactful to the people. So I would say wherever you find yourself, whether it's in the marketplace, be a servant leader there. Sometimes I walk to the street of Nakuru, or even the market there, and you find that somebody is so much on their phone that they don't tell that the customers actually are passing. And for me, when I see that, I will pass you. But I will tell you, if you're my customer, I will tell you that I passed you because you're on your phone. Because you're not actually there for the people you're supposed to serve. Remember, you're not just bringing for you money, but we are there to be served by you who was what's displayed, your goods and or maybe even your services. And therefore this calls for us to be aware, know what needs to be done at whatever time for whatever reason.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, I love that. I love that you're giving an example of someone in the marketplace.
Yes.
You know, someone may think, no, because I don't have a title, I'm not a leader in the marketplace. Let's talk of the people when you wanakwanga hata kwa matatu.
Yes.
Unasikia mtu anakuongelesha vibaya. That person, are they supposed to be a leader? Like, ukiwa kwa matatu, you're a leader. If you wewe ni makanga or wewe ni dereva.
Yes.
If you're in the marketplace, wewe hiyo kasoko kako kadogo, you are a leader.
Yes.
Does it mean that's leadership?
Actually, before you lead others, you need to lead yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Lead yourself.
So leadership
first.
is not about the title, like Mrs. Grace, because I have this position or something.
It is not about the title. It is about the nature.
Oh, wow.
The being, not the doing.
Oh my goodness.
Who am I as a leader?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that nothing can go wrong near me and I'm just there.
Yeah.
I'm just there.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I wonder what exactly the Bible means when we talk about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, for example. And the Bible says that when Eve was being tempted, and she took the fruit and gave to her husband who was there with her. That word being there with her, I wonder what was Adam doing.
What was Adam doing?
Yeah, because sometimes we can be in a place where we actually just see things going wrong, but it's not our concern. Doesn't benefit me.
Yeah.
You know, what can I get out of it? Some leadership is not about what I can get out of something, but what can I contribute to the well-being of others.
Yes.
That will make our world a better place to live in. Our villages, our counties, our sub-counties and all that. May the Lord help us to discern what it means to play my part in the marketplace, in the home, in the church, in the nation. So it's about position. It's about leading
because people
yourself.
think it's position.
Yeah, it is not position. Yeah, it is the nature. It is being and not doing.
Wow.
So not activities, not the roles, not the titles. It is about being.
What you're doing. Actually, that's what we'd be reminded.
Yes.
When you go, not who you are, not who as a leader. Oh, Grace was maybe our manager, but not that will be remembered by people, but what did she do?
Yes. What did you accomplish in your time of being in that place? Yeah. Because you are being there, you occupy a space that somebody else can also occupy and do great things. Yeah. And we have been given different abilities. Yes. What Grace can do, I cannot be able to do. Yeah. And that's why you can have me here today talk about some leadership. And I know there's a place where something that you're better at than myself. Yeah. And we have been called by the Lord. We are diverse in nature. God has apportioned us with different graces for different what do you call it, for different aspects. Yes. And that calls for us to mutually work together for the benefit of one another. If you do your part and I do my part, the glory will be to the Lord, but the impact will be to the people.
Very true.
Yes. And remember, God wants to show his glory here on earth through you and through me as servant leaders. Yes. And therefore, I would actually say that having servant leaders around is for the benefit of the country. Yeah. And sometimes those who do good things are the ones that actually deny the opportunity. Yes. Oh. Because now sometimes the evil or the wickedness shouts so much than the good. Yeah. But that is the nature of the world. Yeah. But when God is given the opportunity to show his glory, even the wickedness will actually disappear.
Very true.
For the glory of God.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I'm loving that. We are about to go for a short break, and you have said about being a leader for yourself, leading yourself. How is that being leading yourself first?
I would say
Wouldn't you be selfish?
Not selfish per se. I would say that first of all, get to know who you are and what you are called to accomplish. Yeah. Know your purpose. Yes. And once you have gotten all that, you'll be able to see how am I going to use my God-given ability to lead myself, because Paul says, follow me as I follow Christ. That leading yourself, not just about self-centeredness. There's someone you're following, and this someone is Jesus Christ, who is the epitome and the real example of what it means to be a leader.
Yeah.
So as I follow Christ,
Yes.
I'll be able to lead myself in the area of concentrating in his footsteps.
Yeah.
And remember, he has left for us a big legacy or footprints to follow. His servant leadership, his suffering, his giving of his life for the sake of men. And so I would say, leading yourself, focus on Christ, know who you are, because he's the one who can define you. Your identity, your personality, everything that you have and that you are comes from him.
Wow.
And that is what I mean by leading yourself first.
Wow, thank you so much, Pastor. We are really learning. Myself, I'm really learning. I'm enjoying the conversation. We need to go for a short break. Our viewers, I hope you are really understanding something. And you're analyzing yourself as well, whether you are a servant leader, wherever you are, or whether you're serving the people or serving yourself and being selfish. But let's go for a short break. We will be back shortly with more. Welcome back to Lifestyle Tuesday. We have an amazing discussion today. I'm really enjoying today's conversation. We are talking about servant leadership. What does it really mean to be a servant leader? And Pastor Paul is here with us today, really helping us and enlightening us. And he's told us, if you are a servant leader, you go that level of the people and meet their needs, not your needs, but their needs. And so we are going on with our discussion. And before we get to the heart of our discussion again, I want to remind all of us of our Sonship Summit that is coming up here at Mizpah House of Prayer. We are having Sonship Summit 2025 starting from 23rd of June to 27th of June. Actually, June inaanza next week. We are welcoming all of you. If you're a leader, if you're a church leader, you're a minister, wherever, everywhere, we are welcoming all of us. Remember that it is an amazing time where we will learn, relearn, and unlearn. And the theme of the time is Malachi chapter 4 verse 6. So for more information, just contact 0727 766 553, and Mizpah House of Prayer is located Bahati, Nakuru. We welcome all of you. Come, let us enjoy in the presence of the Lord. So Pastor Paul, we are back again. Servant leadership. I'm loving how you're really enlightening us about servant leadership, not the title. Being a servant leader, it's not about the title, but about the service, what you're doing. But I would love to ask the challenges of being a servant leader, because ukiona kuna your boss is becoming that person who is hapo chini, anakuja kukua kama wewe, you might take advantage of that person.
I would say that servant leadership also comes with a lot of challenges. And I would say that it is not about being a doormat.
Wow.
The call is to be as wise as a serpent, but as humble as a dove. And that means you possess both qualities of gentleness and humility. So as a servant leader, you don't just now become too available, for example, or maybe just there for whatever wants to happen to you. And for you to be a servant leader, the Lord is also calling us to take his example. Jesus was very wise and also very determined on what he wanted to achieve. And even though at some point he was rejected, even by the teachers of the law. And remember, even as a young boy at the age of 12, he actually sat down with these religious leaders and he was asking them questions, and he had the knowledge. So what the scriptures are all about, and he also had the courage. And so being a servant leader needs for you to be bold.
So that's the cost of being a servant leader.
You have to be bold so that no one takes advantage of you. Number two, be humble. In the situation whereby you actually being attacked, or maybe being seen as too fast, or maybe outstanding and all that, stigmatization may come in.
Very true.
But you really have to ensure that with the wisdom of God, the grace of God, you can stand the test of time. And as long as you are consistent in what you are doing, eventually what you have been standing for will actually touch lives.
Yeah.
There are those who will be able to say, we have seen leadership in you. We have seen the humility in you.
Yeah.
And so even though some may actually try to toss to left, right, and center, you will be able to stand for God, even in that space.
Yes.
And also, it calls for sacrifice. I said earlier, it may cost you your time, because going out of your way to serve others, you may sometimes even find things are happening maybe along the way, and you allow inconvenience. That's the life of Jesus. Many times he was inconvenienced, quote unquote. Whether that was his plan or the plan of the Father. Of course, he walked with the Father. But you could see even when he was going somewhere, he could actually be inconvenienced. For example, the whole issue of the centurion, yes, whose servant was actually unwell. And there was also the issue of the woman with the issue of blood. And Jesus was actually going to centurion's house. Yeah, and this woman comes, touches him, and he actually got delayed. Until even the servants who were at home came and told the centurion that your servant actually is dead. Don't bother the teacher anymore. Giving up, telling you to give up. But Jesus told him, just believe, and your servant will be well. And so I would say that it calls for going out of your way, doing what you actually maybe ready to do at that time, but because it's going to help someone, you be ready to do that. Number two, servant leadership also calls for patience with people. Because you can be sometimes have a lot of work, or maybe be harassed at the place of work because of the high demands. And sometimes maybe people just want to create issues out of nothing, just to throw you out. And you can end up actually losing your job sometimes because you are standing for something.
Very true.
And this calls for our trust in God. Challenges will come. The world is a broken world. We are also a broken people. Yes. Actually, we are serving sometimes with a lot of brokenness where we are coming from. Past issues can come up to hinder you from servanthood. Even when you feel like, hey, why should I do this to them and it was not done to me? So that's where now the selfishness comes in. But with the help of God, you can use your past wounds as actually also a platform to serve others. Like, for example, through encouragement to others. And many times we'll find that people struggle to serve others also because of disappointments, expectations that were laid on you. And sometimes you're not able to meet them, but yet the pressure can also be too much. For you to be always be the one to serve. Remember the case of Mary and Martha? Martha complained, my sister has left me to do all this work alone. So there comes a time when you can be overwhelmed. So also understand, give yourself an opportunity even for some rest also.
You should have time to rest.
Plan yourself very well, so you can be able to also have moments of rest, moment of re-energizing yourself, reviving your soul by waiting on God. But if you keep on, you are on the run throughout your life, you may end up actually having a burnout. Even
losing yourself. You can lose yourself in the servant leadership.
You can do that. So that we need to remember that we also have life to live. Quote unquote. What I mean is not selfish life to live. What I mean is have some space for yourself to also ensure. Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. That tells
don't forget yourself.
You can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself.
True.
In fact, if you don't love yourself, you can't love others effectively.
Wow.
And so it is all going to be a service to the Lord, and both of us benefit. As I serve from a point of rest, my service will be effective. But if I'm serving from the point of harassment, disappointment, woundings, all those stigmatization, isolation, all those challenges that come, I will not be able to do it very well. It will not augur well with the people also I'm going to serve. The impact will be haphazard. You will not be really meeting the very needs of the people. So it calls for you to be patient, have some time for yourself, and be able to trust God for the grace to do what you do excellently. Yes, without actually, you know, having issues around that. Yes.
Wow, I love that. I love what you're saying, because I am thinking of a community, maybe politician amekuja kwa church yenu, and you see all women following him, telling him, oh, my child is doing this, my child is doing that. Another one is crying on the other side. And I'm thinking of a leader who is overwhelmed because everyone is calling them, everyone wants some help, but some of them maybe they really want to help, but they are like, how should I? Na kila mtu amenizunguka, nitasikiza nani niache nani, you know? Maybe what can you advise such people or such leaders in our country? Because maybe sometimes they are like, I want to help, but I'm like, how? Na unapata kuna watu wanakuja na some kudanganya, nini, but because they just want money from you. Ni leaders wata-advisiwa ama ni hata ni wananchi wata-advisiwa?
I would say that I normally say Kenyans are people who can be very patient with leaders. Yes, very patient with leaders.
I love that perspective.
We have always have hope. And remember, hope does not disappoint.
Yes.
So let us not give up on that hope. That at one point or going forward, God will remember us and give us leaders who are actually selfless and people's needs oriented. Yes, if I would say that. Oriented. Because if you can create an environment as a leader, these people who are flocking around you, the women, the men, the youths, and all that, if you can only create a platform or maybe a way of meeting the needs as to why they are following you, they won't follow you.
I love that.
They will give you that seat over and over as an MP, as a governor, because you're actually serving their needs. And what do Kenyans want? Good system for education, water and sanitation. People need have what else? Creation of job opportunities. One. People need to have you know, the infrastructure working in this country. Give us good roads, give us water, give us education, give us jobs opportunities that are there. But when you come with handouts, that's where the problem comes in. Because you only give me what can only come from my hand to my mouth. And tomorrow, but don't
give me a 500 shillings.
So you can use that 500 to create good markets. Use that 500 to create job opportunities. Like tarmac the roads that can be used to transport our goods and to different places. Ensure that our education system, we have got enough classrooms. We don't have the last minute trash. We are able to really have the system working very well for this country. And so for me, I would actually say that Kenyans are looking for leaders who can be able to be job creators, who can be able to be system oriented, availing the opportunities for people to have themselves empowered.
Empowering
people. And I also believe these leaders also have groundsmen, people who know the kind of need people have in the villages. So if you are having issues like the youth who are maybe doing boda or mama mboga, the way we have had before, and maybe some of them are in colleges and all that, ensure that they go through the education system. The boda industry is doing well. They are following rules and laws of the country. And again, there's also security, because many times people fall in the wrong hands. They can't work for many hours because of insecurity issues in the country. So if you can be able to fix some of these things, the country will be safer for everyone. Opportunities will be many for everyone, and there'll be no crying following after politician or a leader to give you
feeling like they are the ones who hold your lives. To an extent, if they don't help you, you are going to crumble.
It is true. We are actually, that lie has been sold to us. That everything good
comes
politically comes only from the government. You know, yet the government is just a facilitator.
Wow,
they should facilitate the system so that our lives, we can be empowered to pick up our lives and implement that which is needed. Yes.
Wow.
And so another thing that also need to be fixed is the issue of corruption.
Oh, yes. That one.
Taking everything away from people, you know. So if leaders can actually be able to ensure that corruption is actually dealt with from the grassroots level. I remember again from our former bishop what he said, the way to fight corruption, number one, is don't give.
Don't give.
The Bible is against bribery. In fact, the Bible says that a person who bribes, is blind. Yes, is blind. So corruption brings that spiritual blindness. You become numb to realize the needs of the people. So if that one can be dealt with from the grassroots level. The second thing that he also mentioned, don't ask. You're a police officer.
Don't ask.
You're a judge. You're a politician. You are whichever position or level you are. Don't, a principal of a school, don't ask for corruption. So don't give, don't ask.
Wow.
Yes. And the third thing that you also mentioned is that talk about it. Talk about it. One thing that actually I've been very much concerned about is the way the policemen on the road and even the matatu industry, the transport industry. If you were to find a way on how we can have our policemen reached out and also the transport industry fixed in those issues, we'll have safety on the road. Because sometimes you carry excess, but you save the lives of these people through 50 shillings on the road. And the same road is still having potholes. And no road signposts sometimes, you know. So it boils down to the common mwananchi ndiye ataumia zaidi, because he's the one being sold at 50 shillings, he's the one going to get an accident, he's the one going to sleep hungry, he's the one going to be when things hike, the person going to suffer is the common mwananchi, the mama mboga, the boda guy, the shopkeeper, all these people. Yes. And so it boils down to us. So we must actually deal with the issue of corruption. One thing I normally do, even when I am driving, if a policeman arrests me on the road, I will ensure, and I've done this before, I will ensure that I ask you, you have the power to forgive me. Number one, if the mistake was something that I did without knowing, please forgive me. I'll ask you for that. Number two, either you take me to court. Take me to court. And I will trust the Lord to intervene for me. Either you find me, and I've done this before. I remember there's a time we were actually arrested on our way to western part of Kenya. We were going there for the missions. And you were told we had overspeeded. And the place where we were accused, or maybe the photo was taken, we were just coming from the point of having bought some few things. And so we took off without knowing. Only until that in the next bend, the policemen there. So you're wondering, how did we even overspeed? Because the first thing, we didn't even see that signpost, because it's at a town center. So leaving a town center, you want to go as fast as possible. And I remember we were taken to court. We pleaded for mercy, because we never knew. It was it was actually out of innocence, innocent state. And we, of course, we got delayed there, but the officer, their commander of the base, was able to understand that these people they actually genuine. They didn't know this thing, and so you can be forgiven by a police officer, because these are also our sons, our fathers.
Police officers are supposed to be also servant leaders.
Yes, they should be, because all of us are coming from the point of having been trained to serve. Yes, in fact, imeandikwa pale kwa logo yao, utumishi kwa wote. Yes. How are you going to be mtumishi kama uwezi kuni understand? Yes. So let's try to coexist in a more peaceful, understanding way, and the Bible addresses all that. Even when John the Baptist came in, when he began his ministry, people were going there to be baptized, and he told them, "You root of vipers, who told you to come out and be baptized as well?" I'm paraphrasing. Because he knew their lifestyle. Then he also said, if you are actually a police officer, for example, don't extort money from people.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't oppress people. The tax collectors, don't overdo it. Don't go beyond what you're supposed to have.
Wow, yeah.
So in the city council, maybe in the county level, if you can be able to have city council workers who are understanding to the people of that city, then we'll have a place whereby we are able to mutually make good use of our time to benefit one another.
Yes.
So let us not extort people. Let us not oppress people. God is against that.
Yeah, very true.
When God sees people oppressed, he doesn't feel good about it. Yes.
Wow, I love that.
So I would also say that being a servant leader is a call for everyone.
It's a call for everyone.
Everyone.
Oh, I love
Yes.
that.
Let's come to the level of each other, understand the needs of one another, and begin to serve people from there. What kind of a country will it be or look like if we were to serve one another? And it's not just about leadership, because I have talked about it. This is what is in my heart. This is what is coming from my heart. It is a cry on behalf of many Kenyans, that you can be able to have leaders who are driven by the needs of the people, passionate, committed, willing, not because they must, but because they are willing to be available.
Wow, I love that.
Approachable, for that matter.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, because as you conclude, maybe in 1 minute, you can say, you had talked about empowerment of the government to the people. How is it in a church where a servant leader is empowering the members in the church? How can the church be?
The church is the place where even the government should get leaders from, because they have known the truth. They have known the system of the word of God, how it should be applied outside there. And so being a servant leader, as a pastor, a bishop, we should look out, what are the levels of these people in their walk with the Lord, and discern in their lives what are they called to do, and give them opportunity to do it. Sometimes when you are the only one shining there, many people will not stay longer with you. So you need to also give people opportunity to also grow under you, become like you, and even go beyond. So empowering people is actually a call to every sector. And sometimes the world seems to do it better than the church. True. Because sometimes the church, we feel like there's a competition. It's a bad spirit. Should not allow that to happen. So give you the opportunity to also arise to the limelight, so that our lives can also be served, because we have different gifts. If I give opportunity, we'll all rise up together. And the glory will to the Lord, because we are serving for his own glory. And that will bring what we call generation impact. You don't die with what you don't die with what you have actually seen, experienced in life. So find a platform of passing it on to the next generation, because you'll not be there forever. Yes.
Wow,
thank you,
I'm loving that.
Yeah.
Now, we want to conclude, and I would love you to give some remarks to our viewers. I don't know whether you'll talk to everyone, because you've said being a servanthood is for everyone. You can just few words to everyone.
Thank you once again, Grace. Viewers, I would be able to ask and urge all of us to emulate the example of Jesus Christ. He was such a given leader to his generation and to the world at large. And today, let us be able to seek out, what can I be able to do as an individual to enrich the life of the other person? It's not about just running speed. Life's not about speed, but it's about direction. If I am in the right direction, I can be able to meet the right needs on my path. And then also, we are serving the Lord by serving people. So I would encourage all of us to join hands together, be united, be humble, seek the Lord, rely on his word, be bold. Be bold in your walk with the Lord in terms of serving the people of God. So that is my
take home.
Yes, my take home.
Your parting shot.
My parting shot.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I love how you said about Christ being humble. You know, we all just see Christ washing the feet, and we think that's only humility. You know, but I know there is more, and we've learned. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And I know our viewers wameelewa kabisa. Thank you so much, our viewers, for being part of today's conversation. We've been talking about servant leadership, and it has has been an amazing time, and it is a call to everyone and a challenge for all of us to be servant leaders wherever you are. You as a person, starting with you, are you serving others? What will you be remembered for by other people? Wherever you are, in the marketplace, in the workplace, in the church, wherever, it doesn't matter. Be a servant leader. Make sure that wherever you are making some impact. Thank you so much. Continue embracing the Christian lifestyle even throughout the week as we wrap up this month of June. See you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.